BEEX project is a no-profit foundation about visual art and photography. If you want to help us, just drop a donation on buymeacoffee.com/BerlinExplorer. So welcome to this 50 minutes of experience. Today I'm with Craig Mammano, based in Seattle, Washington, and it's a really nice and pleasure for me to stay here with you because I followed your work and it's really amazing. But let's talk and welcome.
First, I appreciate you asking me to come on. I appreciate you checking out my work. For me, this kind of communication is very important, and why I'm into photography. Just sort of jumping off points for conversation.
Yes, it's really nice for me to have this conversation I'm having in these days in podcasts with people because first of all I can see the people. Unfortunately, people who will listen to this podcast will not see the people, but
Right.
I really like the point that I can see that people and I can talk with them, and it's in a way, it's really funny that but every photographer is really similar to the picture doing. It's really amazing that.
Right. I mean, I think definitely for me, the photography that I like to look at has to match up with the photographer. I mean, that's usually the work that I'm feeling. That there's an easy matchup between the people and the photographs. It's not too
Totally.
made up or stylized. Not that there's anything wrong with those things, and sometimes those fit exactly with the person. But yeah, the work I enjoy, when I meet the photographer, it makes sense to me.
Yeah. And your work is really, in a way, really fit with you, with your face, with your voice, with your style. I was not expecting something different.
Right.
I mean, your work is really raw in a way, and real. It's so real. I love that of your work because it's so real, and I don't see false things. I see just the truth, directly true, and this is amazing because I asked you before to start this podcast. If is your name come from Italian family, and this is really reflecting the Sicilian way, and that I come from Naples, also Naples and Sicily. We have this twin system that we are really straight to the point, really directly to the truth of the things.
Yeah.
And this for me was, I mean, 50 minutes are not enough to talk, I think, with you because I think you are full of experience, full of stories of other people, but also stories from your side.
Yeah. The sort of how a big influence on me was a photographer by the name of Joseph Rodriguez. He So to kind of start the story, I at one point right after going to college, I was looking for tickets to to a hip hop show, Black Star, Mos Def and Talib Kweli, and I happened to run into an ad for the Black Star photo agency, and it was at a time, early 2000. That they were digitizing their whole film archive. And at that point, they had, if not the largest, one of the largest archives of America's civil rights movement of the 50s and 60s. And I ended up interning there, digitizing the film. and I met Joseph Rodriguez. He was a photographer there, and I didn't really know at that point where I was going in photography. I knew I was into it. At university, I had taken more photography classes than sculpture classes. Um, so my degree was art studio with a focus in photography, but it very well could have been sculpture if I had had 2 more credits in sculpture. Um, but when I found Joseph's work, um, it was it was so real, and I saw something in his photographs and the archive at Black Star that I can just talk about the truth. I don't have to worry about lighting and making people look different, and just the truth. And it so Joseph's work was a big influence on me. Joseph, same thing, matches his work, his sort of how he made his name was a book, some work called uh, what is it, Spanish Harlem, and this was like about 1986. And at the time when he shot it, he was a cab driver in New York City, and his past, which you can look into on your own. You know, he's from the street, and that's what he shoots. You know, when I saw these photographs and talked to him, it made sense to me. And Yeah, so that sort of led my path into this type of photography. But then there was he educated me. I mean, I ended up interning for Joseph at one point because he saw me digitizing the archive, and this is at a point where a lot of photographers, they were just getting into digital. They didn't know the equipment, so he approached me because he wanted to learn how to scan his negatives and stuff. So I started after work, after my intern work at Black Star, I would intern for him at nighttime. And he really gave me my photo education. Uh, um, University was great, and it was I had a great professor who kept me into it, you know, just as far as he was very positive all the time. But Joseph really gave me a direction, and he also he was very real, just like his photographs. He he told me in the beginning when I was going to intern for him. He said a few things. I'm very open, and I'll show you everything that I do, my approach to photography. But if you're looking to make a lot of money, I'm probably not the photographer to be hanging out with. Um, it's very one project. If any kind of money is made, just rolls over into doing another project, and uh, it was good. There's not a lot of money in telling um, the truth sometimes. You really have to love what you're photographing. Was some of the advice that he gave to me, because there's a good chance that uh, no one else will, and I see that in a lot of I've seen that in photographers, just as far as they could be very successful shooting for the LA Times, or having what success seems like in photography. And it's interesting. I've and it's obviously not all of them, but I've met quite a few that, they say, "Man, I would really rather be doing passion projects like you."
Yeah,
Like,
I love what I do. So I love
yeah,
Everything I do. I mean, it's not the only project I do, and I don't know, require all of my life. I mean,
Right.
I feel the time is not enough to doing all the stuff I want to do it with the project. I mean,
Right. Yeah. Um, yeah. So he really led me on my way. I lost track a little bit. Sorry.
yeah, it's okay.
where,
It's okay. It's
where I was at there, but uh, yeah, just being passionate about the work you're doing, and that's the thing, you know, the photography that attracts me most time, just the same as the photographer lining up with the work. You know, I think that's a part of that. They are following that passion. Um,
your picture
uh,
talk totally about that. I mean, during your talking, I'm watching also your feed on Instagram without
uh,
stopping. It's really interesting. I mean, I would suggest that to doing to the people to listen this podcast and watching the feed slowly during your talking, because it's really amazing. It's like I'm watching a documentary, live documentary, and. The first feel I have is yeah, for sure. It's I feel the love for the picture you do it. I mean, it's not like watching a picture of most of the people. Actually, it's more as I said in the beginning. It's really true, and it's like watching through the story of someone. It's like really watching a documentary in a way or another. I think can be a compliment this, but I feel a similar feeling than when I watch the picture of Nobuyoshi Araki, for example. And
awesome.
is this the feeling? No, I really like, and or the picture of Deido Moriyama.
Yeah,
It's just true
yeah,
story and flow.
yeah,
That's, I mean, there's nothing really constructed, nothing to say I am the big dick. No, there's
right, right,
not that.
right, right.
And
Yeah.
I can feel it in a way. I don't know if I'm wrong, but are you coming from the graffiti?
You know, I grew up during that whole era. I never uh, ran around tagging, but I had tons of friends that did that. And part of me picking up a camera that out was like buffing the wall in the in the beginning.
Wait. We lost the last part
Oh,
because
okay.
it was blocked. So what you was saying about
Oh, graffiti background.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I was never a writer, but a lot of my friends and I grew up um, kind of in that environment where I went to high school in New Jersey. For New Jersey was inner city, um, and um, for me, I'm and I know a lot of photographers say this, but I'm a sometimes um, paralyzingly shy, and for me to take pictures, I have to be ridiculously comfortable. You know, I'm not, and I saw it with some of the places I've been. I happened to be in New York during September 11th, and then I ended up and were
Wait, wait.
able to
I
aggressively.
lost I lost you again in the sentence. I ended up and then was blocked until now.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, it's okay.
Um,
It's okay. It can happen. It's this problem of internet is normal.
okay. Um, so where did I get cut off?
When you said I handed up, and then yeah,
Let me think. And I'm not too.
the
Not too.
the graffiti part won't jump. The graffiti part is a bit part like, hey man, don't talk too much. This is still illegal stuff, you know.
Right. The internet is keeping me safe.
But yeah, to change the topic, I will go along the 15 minutes. So then, without
Sure.
then if yeah, I have a 30 minute to 1 hour, or else I will just cut in different.
Chop it. Yep, no doubt.
And thanks for listening to our podcast. Learn more about our project at allmylinks.com/Berlin Explorer, or visit our Instagram and follow Berlin Explorer Project.